a really, really versatile support player too. There's plenty more options left open for him. It's just that fact that BloodWater puts so much emphasis on Zuna. Sometimes it will cloud his judgment, maybe.
He's got a good thresh, though, so there's definitely a couple of other picks available here. It's the Evelyn being stolen away, and the fast Karth is here for Scarra. So right now, Dignitas running out a lot of magic damage in their lineup.
Well, yeah, especially with, you know, Kassadin banned. Karthus, very strong all-around pick. Hard to really find a weakness to exploit with that champion.
Definitely. So he's going to have, I mean, you've got kind of all of the chance in the world. I guess Ahri and Zed both being banned. They actually kind of fed into that. They actually banned two of the big bully mid lane assassins. Of course, the Kassadin got banned out by Vulcan. Dignitas gets to grab the Karthus. And now, I mean, we've seen these lanes so many times. So many times. And this explains the Zona ban. It's the Ashe Zyra lane.
So that brings, like everyone says, the control from the bottom lane, and it opens up the other solo lanes for more damage. Since they've already locked in Shen, it's probably going to be mandatory Cloud being a very high impact, high damage champion. But some of his favorite champions are already off the board. The Zed, the Ahri, like we said already, the Kassadin too. So maybe we will even see him return to some very old mid laners like the Xerath and the Nidalee that were very strong for him early on in the spring split.
Or even Rise. We haven't seen him very much since the nerfs. Every once in a while, we've actually seen him in some of the Korean games. But yeah, it's what you're saying, right? mancloud's got to be the guy to deal the damage. Vulcan's the only team with a mid laner who's got more gold than their AD carry. Even though Zuna plays late game carries, mancloud's been the one getting crazy in these. So yeah, if you're going to have one guy carry, it might as well be mancloud.
And Crumbzz now, no, he didn't pick up Lee Sin. He's on a jungler that can make even more early game plays. It's going to be up to Vulcan to buy a lot of pink wards and ward behind them so that they don't have the effects of this jungle Evelyn with Ignite coming out early. That's one of the scariest ganks that you can actually have in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, could be incredibly difficult for these guys. The next pick's coming through as well. The Graves and Thresh there for Dignitas. A lot of damage, still flooding damage in this lineup. And Vulcan actually going for the Twisted Fate on top of the Lee Sin as well. So it's actually not that high damage of a team, but a lot of pick potential.
Yeah, wow. There's a lot of playmaking potential on this team. Twisted Fate, great at catching people out. Shen can help out anyone who's in a bad spot, and they just have so much control about choosing when to team fight. The only thing is, Dignitas have a great team fighting team. Their AD carry even has massive area of effect damage over here. Yeah. So that stacked with Karthus and with the initiate of a flanking Evelyn means that they have a huge possibility for taking out giant groups of people.
That's the first thing I'm like, actually they might even pick that. Patoy's clicked like 15 different champions every time getting people to cheer.
Oh, whoa.
We've seen that
remember
too,
that,
actually.
remember that early on KiWiKiD Fizz.
Yeah. Now he's going for the cannon, though, adding more of that AoE team fight synergy to the team. So basically what this tells me is if you go and fight 5 guys at Dignitas, you're doing the wrong thing.
It's going to be up to Vulcan to pick and choose their fights, and they've got all the tools to do that. We saw CLG yesterday with a very similar composition where they had a whole bunch of control, but not that much damage.
Yeah.
And they played it very well a couple times, but it only takes one time, one team fight in the end of the game to go all in with a very crowd control oriented team and mess it up.
And we'll hope that Vulcan actually, despite their kind of couple of rough decision-making moments in their series against TSM, make some better decisions here. And also just a random thing to point out, mancloud and Zuna are going to get free gold from their passives. So these guys are going to be super rich, and that just by the gold, they'll definitely be late game carries.
Well, they're going to have to land CS for both of them to do that. So we'll have to see if Crumbzz can actually take them out of lane early.
It's definitely an option. I mean, these guys both, really all 10 of them, phenomenal players, of course, here on the world stage. And even though some people get flack once in a while, Mandatory Cloud had a couple of mistakes throughout his series. We've talked about KiWiKiD's high death score a couple of times throughout the split. But you'll notice that both these teams have the exact same lineup from the spring split. Yeah. This has been one of the only teams in the LCS to completely hold on to the same lineup the whole way through. TSM switched their AD carry throughout the spring split. CLG, massive roster changes as well. And here, Dignitas and Vulcan are holding together as good friends, saying, look, throughout it all, we're going to keep this lineup. We believe in teamwork of like complexity does, and we're going to come through and make it happen when it matters most here. The third place match. This is a spot at Worlds on the line, and here we go. Vulcan in blue, Dignitas in red. Power of teamwork.
Well, it's not only the team that's keeping Dignitas together. Also, the manager yesterday, Odie, was talking about that's his philosophy. He doesn't like to switch out players in these team-based games where communication and synergy is so important, even more important than individual play.
Yes, and just getting the communication there. So Xmithie looking to spot out Crumbzz in the mid, and the team's communicating as they find champions around the map. Of course, Dignitas and Vulcan, they pretty much all know what's happening here with the Vulcan squad, the 5 of them running in. They know they're spotted. They get a ward down to spot out some of the Wraith Brush. So Vulcan taking a bit of damage just to get some ward coverage, but both those wards got spotted by Dig. So Dig knows exactly what kind of vision's available here, as Patoy goes for a little cheeky ward himself. So Dignitas looking to understand the lane matchups here and figure out who went where and find the 2v2 or the 2v1 they want.
Thing is, Ashe and Zyra duo lane is very strong in either 2 versus 2 or a 2 versus 1 situation. So it's not going to put that much pressure on Vulcan to make a switch here. It looks like it's going to be a delayed invade, though, around the back of this red. And Xmithie looking to show Crumbzz really how you use Lee Sin early game. Like we said, both of these guys, huge fans of that champion.
I actually really like this move by Vulcan, because looking at sort of the ward patterns and whatnot, they would have seen Patoy go down and seen the number of wards he had with the early Explorer ward that is now timed out in the river. And Vulcan would know that there weren't any wards put down on this side of the map, pretty much, because the support was never there. So Vulcan are going, even though Dig knows this has been warded, Vulcan still goes into this one in the fog of war. There's Patoy after the side, but they've already pulled this one over. Xmithie grabs the red buff. Great invade right there. And Vulcan actually leaves this camp. No, okay, he's going to go back and get level 2 and then leave the camp up. So now, I didn't know. I was like really confused for a second. Crumbzz grabs blue, invades towards red. So actually both sides just really getting good invades.
Well, the point there was that Patoy actually saw the invades. If Xmithie had taken that without being seen, then Evelyn would have wasted time by rolling over to his own jungle. But Xmithie, knowing that the opportunity for Crumbzz to counter jungle is exactly what he's going to look for after Patoy has alerted him to the early red steal, they're looking to head him off.
Yeah, the problem is Xmithie used his smite to get down towards the red buff. Now, they don't know his smite's been burned, because he smited from the fog of war, but Crumbzz holds smite here, and there's almost no way Crumbzz loses red buff.
Unless Xmithie's going to kill him, then he wouldn't be able to get it.
Well, there's a chance. It's getting lower and lower. You notice that Xmithie burns forward. There's the rubber being taken up by Crumbzz, but there comes Scarra. Xmithie.
Oh, he goes back
anyway.
in.
Flashes on over. There's the ignite.
Oh!
There's the exhaust. First blood goes down. Sycho pops the ignite. He's going to get the trade kill back on Crumbzz, and the taunt on Scarra. Red card comes by. In comes KiWiKiD for the jump as well. The ignite back. Double kill for Scarra. Traded on a Sycho Sid. He's now wearing the red buffs. Getting chased down. Goes for a little bit of fight onto Kiwi. The ninjas doing battle. Red buff. Actually, double buff on a Sid. A little bit more gold than a Dignitas. Crazy fight, though.
Now, both junglers and both mids going down in that one. And it was the first blood going over to Dignitas for that slight gold lead. But
yeah.
But really, that, you know, Xmithie, he didn't want to let Crumbzz get away with that extra buff at the very beginning, because that would have given him the lead, and he had only taken one himself.
Yeah, and ultimately there's still that one blue buff left over that Xmithie gets to grab. So Crumbzz is running around level 3, jungling with no buffs at all, which can hurt Evelyn's mana pool a little bit, whereas Xmithie gets to like wear the blue buff and feel happy, plus of course Sid wearing these double buffs. But with Scarra getting that double kill, he's already got a tier in that lane. He's already set up to be that crazy late game Karthus. He's already ahead of everyone else.
And he won't really necessarily bully mancloud, but here comes the Thresh gank, already taking the Dark Passage in.
But there is Xmithie already watching the counter gank come in. The exhaust was used on a KiWiKiD. That has been used up now. Patoy, the Q misses from Xmithie, but it's going to be enough damage coming through. Zuna picking up that kill, 1-0. And there is Dignitas running away.
Because there were no more buffs left on Crumbz's side, he only had one option. That was to go gank, because he's an Evelyn very early on. And like you said, the mana problems would plague him if he wanted to just farm the jungle. So Xmithie makes a great rotation after taking the buff that was still left to go for the lane he believed the counter gank was in, and it was just a very well played, well thought out play there from Xmithie. Meanwhile, like you're talking about in that mid lane, Scarra deserves that early edge on Mandatory Cloud because he rotated first in the jungle fight. mancloud was right behind him, but that cost them the first blood.
And I like how impressive that was, because Scarra is naturally on the top right side of the lane and still got down first. So really incredible things to be on the other side, like the other team, and make it first. That's always just like, that's just swag right there. It's like, yeah, I'm that better at rotating than you. Of course, he knew the Evelyn was around. Sycho said, though, still in this matchup, but Crumbzz still looking to invade. Look, Xmithie's, oh no, not invade. He's going for a, I guess mancloud does not have flash. This gank could, in fact, work if the wall of pain can come down. There's a red or a pink ward in the lane that they should know about. You notice that Crumbzz is hiding away, not in vision of that ward.
They are aware that mancloud's flash is down and they want to capitalize on it, but Evelyn doesn't have any slows of her own, so it has to be that wall.
And a really good move right there. Taunt into Safeguard to land all the abilities onto KiWiKiD. Unfortunately, no follow-up there. Had to just get away. Kiwi is safe, but some good damage dealt.
I have to say, Xmithie making the first moves here, definitely get him the edge in that lane, and if Dignitas want to sort of counter here, well, never mind. If Xmithie leaves the area, then it will be, in fact, in Dignitas' favor.
Yeah, it's no longer a counter gank. Now it's just a gank right here. Crumbzz completely getting through the brush right there. Scar on the recall. Scar's also level 6. That double kill got him a lot of experience. So Requiem's available on this one. This could be a 3v1. Well, Crumbzz recalled back.
Well, we also have a level 6 TF here, so he can join the party. Mandatory Cloud, all he needs to do is rotate, and since there's no wards from Scarra yet, he's just gone back and hasn't bought them, he can come in.
And look at the damage on the KiWiKiD. Wildcard's coming across as well. One more attack. Sycho Sid picks it up. Very nice play. And as you said, yep, he's got Destiny and uses it right away.
Now, yeah, KiWiKiD did go down there, but it was a flash from Sycho Sid with the taunt to set it up, and Scarra had not warded the mid against the TF, so you can't blame KiWiKiD too heavily for that one.
Some good damage going down onto Crumbzz, though, at the same time. The taunt into the gold card, into a couple of attacks right there. mancloud's still holding on to this bottom lane, though, so it's Xmithie who's been sent to roam over to the mid lane and soak up the golden XP, prevent his turret from going down. Now we're looking at the duo lane here, and 50-50, despite the early kill going over to Zuna, Dignitas are holding completely equal in this lane.
It was a very good first rotation here, though, from Mandatory Cloud. Waiting in the lane, and after Scar recalls, knows there's no vision of him from any source. Very, very tricky to pull off those TF ganks nowadays, and since the cooldown has been extended, that much more important.
Definitely. So going to walk back to the lane, still plenty of time to go. And interestingly enough, the blue buff is going to respawn pretty late here because of all the crazy jungle antics. So mancloud's going to take quite some time before he gets to reuse that. Crumbzz, interestingly enough, despite having a Karthus for a mid laner, has retaken his own blue buff. So Crumbzz is holding on to this for extra mana regen, has the timer on Xmithie's red, and is looking for that one as well.
So Evelyn is actually a really quick jungle clearing champion if she has the mana to back it up. She's also great at coming from behind here as Mandatory Cloud gets pinched.
The stun goes off on a Scar, but the exhaust is putting out so much damage. Flash forward. Stand United isn't going to be enough. It is. He shows up, but he goes down. And it looks like the kick in on the Scar. The alley-oop is there for both teams. Xmithie gets the kill on the Scarra. Really good counter gank.
It did cost Vulcan their global and their presence in the bottom lane, though. Now KiWiKiD freely hitting the bottom turret.
Exhaust goes off, and the Ash Arrow stun. Dignitas Cutie is so low on health. Zuna, one attack to go, cannot get into range. Put some pain on a Patoy, though. That was incredibly close.
Yeah, Cutie Pie right there, getting off his burst and immediately flashing out so he doesn't fall to the knock-up there from the Zyra ultimate. Very, very close, but nobody does go down.
Okay, but Crumbzz, though, look at that. Still looking pretty happy in his mid lane with Mandatory Cloud dead. Xmithie was holding on the mid lane, which gave a little bit of a window to Crumbzz. You can see him backing off, saying, Xmithie's coming for me.
They have a good pink ward up here, top two.
And they're not even showing. Okay, now they showed.
Zuna tipped him off.
Xmithie going to go forward. Can he land the Q? Yes, he does. Crumbzz might go down. A couple more attacks to go. The flash in. One more attack. Flash from Xmithie makes that happen. Now I'm a Cutie Pie. Good play by Patoy. Hits both members of Vulcan. And there's the pull in.
Whoa, he's going deep.
mancloud, the Q. He gets it. But here comes the Requiem. Zuna's going to go down. mancloud goes down as well. No, Zuna buried it. I take it back. Xmithie finds another kill.
Both globals going off here, but Mandatory Cloud's team comes out ahead. Scarra is going to have free time farming the mid, though. Shove a couple waves into the turret. Xmithie again with a great counter gank. I thought that Zuna's early volley and tipping off Crumbzz was really going to cost them, but they were able to pull it out anyway.
I think he did it right as the Lee Sin got into Elise's vision range. Said, I'm going to slow you before you could react to this and hope to get him in range. Of course, it did work out that time. Now, Crumbzz going back to his own jungle just to grab his red buff up. So, despite everything that's happening, he's still getting back in the jungle, trying to get the farm. Level 7, so he's actually holding up to Xmithie and XP despite being down in kills.
He's trying to get back in this one. That's partly why he did take the blue buff as well to help him catch up in this game. But again, with that counter gank there from Xmithie, he really turned around not only the jungle fight, but also this top lane here. Because KiWiKiD, 0 kills on him, but 1 kill and 3 assists here for Zuna could easily help them out quite a lot in that poke lane.
What's interesting about this even still is that KiWiKiD's been able to get ahead in minion kills, and aside from boots of speed, keep up in items. So I'm a KiWiKiD. You know, despite how many crazy things have happened to him, is still holding on pretty well. And that's a huge testament to his skill right here, despite being what could be a very, very rough lane for him. Look at the mid lane. Nothing too crazy has actually happened in the mid lane. It's funny because we talk about the source of the globals being one of the major focal points for ganking. Vulcan has a global in every one of their lanes, which makes it pretty hard to shut down them all.
And it looks like Crumbzz choosing to go right back to that top lane. He remembers there was a pink ward in that bush before, though, and decides not to go for it, as the timely back from Zuna and BloodWater causes him to think that it's still there.
Really awesome play right there. That's good mind games put up. mancloud's still in his mid lane. Crumbzz was around, but Xmithie looks for the bottom lane here. Sycho said gets the taunt on a KiWiKiD. He misses the Q, kicks him back. KiWiKiD might still get out of this one. It has to flash away. A lot of summoners burned here. Xmithie's not going to find anything else. That was a silly Q to miss.
All right, so maybe his case for being the better of the Lee Sins just got hurt a little bit right there. But KiWiKiD did have to flash anyway, so it comes out as a win.
Comes out as a win. All right, could have been a bigger win. It's more like a 1-0 than a 2-0. Mandatory Cloud forced back again by the Wall of Pain. Lands a stun. A couple more attacks to go. Really good late waste from Scarra, but no Requiem to follow up. Sycho Sid will save with that ulti. Arrow comes off. Will they find Cannon?
Oh, second target. Oh! We got a 2-for-1 on the
Missed them both.
There.
Good job, Zuna. Missed them both.
Now, does that count as
all 3, actually?
2 Ash arrows missed to ruin his percentage?
I think it's actually 3.
Okay.
He missed Scarra, Crumbzz, and KiWiKiD.
And then he gets hooked.
What?
Open the top lane and boxed.
Oh, no, it was so bad. Goodbye to the Ash. KiWiKiD picking up that kill. BF's or double Doran's Blade.
So that was, by the way, just Patoy landing a straight hook onto Zuna. There were no fancy tricks right there.
Just great play.
Just a great play there from Patoy. He capitalized on the hook going in, used his box.
Really
so
awesome.
No more.
Oh, well played by these guys. You notice Xmithie and Crumbzz are featured matchup. Xmithie's definitely had a higher impact on this game, though Crumbzz picked the Evelynn first. Said this is what I think is going to do better this game. Xmithie's like, well, you gave me Lee Sin, and has done more for his team so far. And he's kind of like the reason Vulcan's holding up, because outside of his influence, they only have 2 kills.
Now, Meteos had said that he believes Evelynn to be the strongest solo queue jungler at the moment because of the amazing ganks that she's able to pull off, and because of that clear speed that she does have especially when she has her blue buff. So Crumbzz taking a little bit more of a solo queue tactic here. The flash taunt comes in.
And there's the Destiny, lands the gold card. The jump in as well from Xmithie. Scarra has nowhere to go. RIP and Peace Scarra. 9-5 now for Vulcan, and looking for Dragon.
They're finally able to make Scarra pay. This was the first time where Crumbzz wasn't the one attacking Mandatory Cloud in that mid lane, and after that, they have 5 members near the Dragon, so they're able to take this, and they should get over to defend the mid turret just in time.
Looks like they left 1 man back, actually, just to make sure. Sycho Sid taunting up KiWiKiD. This fight has been going on forever. mancloud, the flash stun. Arrow misses, unfortunately, from Zuna. CC kept them from running into that one. But Crumbzz going for the blue buff steal when that all happens, and the bottom lane for Dignitas taking down a turret.
They are able to get 2 objectives on the different sides of KiWiKiD dying there, so not everything wasted. Another hook onto Zuna!
Lantern comes down as well. Zuna flashes the wall. He's going to be safe. This turret is 1 hit from dead. And KiWiKiD actually, well, I guess no one's going to stop him, so we'll get this turret afterwards. But the mid lane goes down for Mandatory Cloud. Suddenly, everything is dying all over the map.
Now, it's really due to the combo of Sycho Sid and Mandatory Cloud. They are making some spectacular plays on both of those global ultimate champions here. Xmithie is doing a good job as well. He's rotated down bottom But even though they have double pink wards in the river, ping's coming out from the bottom lane of Dignitas, and they do play cautiously, knowing that they're blind.
Interestingly, the double golems, though, being taken by Vulcan right now, giving a bit more lane control to this Dignitas squad. I can't imagine them giving up this turret, but look at this. They're hiding towards the back. They're not rushing to take this one, expecting Vulcan to bait the turret.
Don't let that cannon minion get close. Zuna's tanking it. There we go. They're going to save it.
Melee minion did like 5 damage. All right, they saved it for now. But yeah, Dignitas could have just like straight backdoored that if they wanted to. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't go for that one. Maybe they're giving Vulcan more credit than they deserved because there wasn't a real defense force there.
Took a while for Xmithie to recall, but they are also keeping the globals in mind, and the Stand United is now available. It's going to be a little bit longer on the Destiny, but KiWiKiD is available to join another lane. He's already used it twice just to save Mandatory Cloud. And so if Mandatory Cloud gets into a bad position again with the duo of the Crumbzz and Scarra mid lane, then he'll want to save it for that one.
Instead is hit level 11 now, so his Stand United not only has a shorter cooldown,
oh, the arrow
more
bottom!
Shield. Arrow's going to hit there. KiWiKiD and Patoy forced to run away. Cleanse used by KiWiKiD does keep him safe. Volley does not land. Splits the difference on those 2 arrows. Gets a field goal on that one. He's going to be safe with the lantern.
May have been a little early to start that one off. Mandatory Cloud and Xmithie both looking to rotate, but they are a few steps behind. Close range Crystal Arrows not stunning for long enough to set that gank up.
So nothing found there. Hotshot does not reveal Evelyn, so Crumbzz is still hiding there, but Xmithie still smells something. Actually, I don't even know why he hawkshot it, but there's a Destiny. That's going to find
That'll
something.
Reveal Evelyn.
It's the top lane for KiWiKiD. This bottom lane should not be a fight for Vulcan. KiWiKiD taking a bit of pain. Red card still might just be enough. Tanking up the turret is Sycho sit and go down. Now the re-engage in the bottom lane. There's the Requiem. BloodWater's going to fall. Doesn't even get Requiem, though. Kind of a wasted ulti. Little bit of health left just on that KiWiKiD as he runs away. Patoy lands the Q. Gonna go in for this one. Xmithie forced to run back out. Scarra takes the mid lane turret where this all happens. mancloud go for the top lane. These guys are trading objectives a lot.
Such a beautiful hook there. Patoy keeps on landing these over and over, but right, both of the solo mid laners grabbing turrets right now. Mandatory Clouds, though, is an outer turret. Scar's working on the secondary mid turret. He has not left that mid lane. He is playing the farm up Karthus in mid, just add Requiem damage.
Well, and you're seeing him get scarier and scarier. 17 minutes, the early route of age is the tier going up. 156 minions. He's also out CSing mancloud. Granted, mancloud has left the lane more. And here we see KiWiKiD just trying to group, trying to catch back up. 0-3-1. Still last hitting quite well. 118, 120 now on him. Is out farming Sycho Sid, but just keeps getting picked on. He's lost his turret. He's going for that Zonias. That'll help him survive as well. There's the pick onto Zuna. Is it going to be enough? Xmithie is here. Yeah, KiWiKiD. That's not great, but he's going to hit that lantern and get out. Good escape.
Now, Vulcan can continue to keep using this one-hit turret as bait. Xmithie goes in on the bottom. He just landed a Q, by the way, to go in and finish off Patoy. Meanwhile, up top, the Ninja's just trading a little bit of damage.
A little bit of damage trader, not a huge deal for these guys.
Now, Vulcan have said that if any team gets... okay, here we go. We're going to see Xmithie pull this off on Patoy. He gets him back for the hooks that Patoy's been landing, and was the landed Q into a kick, finishing him off. KiWiKiD tries to teach Xmithie a lesson, but there's nothing packing in that shotgun.
Yeah, nothing got stopped right there. So, just shooting rubber bullets right now for KiWiKiD until he gets a couple more damage items there. And let's see what's happened now in this game. 19 minutes in, and Vulcan, they said they'd just be a better Dignitas here. They play their game, but stronger. They've picked mostly a lot of actually Dignitas champions. Right? This is not a lineup you'd be surprised to see from Dignitas, aside from maybe the Ashe, not a super common pick here. But otherwise, this is things that you've seen Dig run. It's a play style, a lot of kills, heavy ganking. That's the Vulcan plan right now. They've built a 6-kill lead. They've built 4,000 gold. They've got an extra turret. Vulcan are definitely controlling this game right now. And we haven't seen Dignitas come back from an early deficit so far in this tournament.
Well, like I said, Vulcan have said on record that if any team gets Shen and TF, they should not lose, even though they were one of the only teams to actually do that. They have a really good early lead so far, and they've been making use of the dual globals, really just outpacing that single Requiem that Scarra has been able to add.
They absolutely have done an amazing job of this one. KiWiKiD hasn't had nearly the same impact that Sycho Sid had, or has had. has had it, and really the same for Xmithie as well. You look at that 4-1-4 in the Lee Sin. Again, he's just done more than Crumbzz this game. Even though Crumbzz is now out farming him, Crumbzz has picked up lane farm and jungle farm more often, more frequently, and gotten some gold for that one. You just look at the item disparity, the kill disparity. Xmithie's been doing so much for his team. With everyone showing up, he's piggybacking off the globals. And now, of course, Vulcan, they've got, I believe if I saw that right in Oracles, Patoy definitely has one as well, and for Dignitas. And Dragon's back up here. Yeah, Xmithie has it. Here we go. And look, another global objective being contested here. Shen on the other side of the map can teleport in. This is a good situation for Vulcan.
So what Vulcan have been doing really well is spreading out the entire map here. They've been keeping Dignitas spread apart. By the fact that they've shoved in that top lane and forced KiWiKiD to go up there, they knew that this Dignitas team that's focused around 5 versus 5 team fights is now split up. And they can take advantage of the fact that Shen can join, whereas KiWiKiD can't.
And once again, the taunt into the gold card. KiWiKiD forced to run away, does not have flash. mancloud does! Another kill picked up there. KiWiKiD 0-4-1. Stun goes off on a Crumbzz, is going to help the Vulcan team disengage. No kill found there for Dignitas, and you're right. No 5v5s. Vulcan refused to fight a large battle and are snowballing ahead early game. Turret goes down finally. There's the engagement of Zuna. KiWiKiD exhausted. Here comes Shen. Do they have the damage they need to kill off Graves? Taunt comes across. There's one kill picked up. Crumbzz doesn't have anywhere to go. 2 kills picked up. Great counter pickup there. Use the turret as bait. Found the fight they wanted.
And in the last 2 fights, Vulcan just really showed why they believe no one should lose with Shen and TF. Usually, when you're against the team with the global, like to say you go to the source of the global with your ganks to attack them, but you can't go to both Shen and TF at the same time. So whichever one you go after, the other one's going to join you. And we just saw Mandatory Cloud going up to join Xmithie, or Sycho Sid. He went up to join Sycho Sid, helped him out, got the kill on KiWiKiD, which freed up Sycho Sid to go bottom and help the rest of the team.
Yeah, incredible. Just everything sort of working together as pieces of a puzzle here for Vulcan. 15-6 right now. Using turrets that are dead to make sure that KiWiKiD has nowhere to retreat from, making sure that someone's got a global up at all times to turn around kills. Dragon's not available, so it's nothing like Dignitas can fight for with the globals down. Vulcan are keeping everything in control.
And I said that they were going to continue to use that tower at bait that was so low. That was the last time they could finally use it, because at least in the last fight, Dignitas finally took down that bottom outer turret.
There we go. Some global gold coming for these guys. Dignitas do have 2 turrets. To be fair, they have found some things to push down. One time that was Scarra pushing the mid lane after mancloud left, one of the other counter engages you see there. mancloud goes through the wall of pain, though. Takes the Q. Not going to get chased down, though. He will escape.
Now they also have a very strong Sycho Sid. Look at that, 6-0-4 on Shen means that he is a huge split pushing threat. And since they also have a Lichbane TF on their team, any sort of spread fight is going to be in their
Wow,
advantage.
look at that damage output. Asher into red card, but the kill still picked up onto Twisted Fate. It's going to be Crumbzz falling down. Scarra, one last attack from BloodWater is going to pick that one up. 2 for 1 so far. Will Xmithie go in? He does. Gets played back. Uh-oh!
Oh, the Defile! Oh!
But the Karthus Death Defy times out, and Xmithie lives with no HP. Dude, he just went in for another camp and got lower. Something else hit him.
That was a 2-for-1 trade, though, so it came out in Vulcan's favor once again. Even though KiWiKiD was pushing that bottom lane and is going to get a small amount of minions denied to the turret.
Wow, so here we go. A little bit of deny, a little bit of extra gold not going Vulcan's way, but everything else considered, they're just getting farther and farther ahead. Zuna finally coming back down to sweep this up. 5 ranks in Frost Shot, 5 in Volley, pretty standard for Ashe, of course, but now he's going to get more gold from that passive. Twisted Fate gets like 4.1 per minion he kills. Ashe only getting 1, but it's going to go up to 2. It's going to go up to 3. He's going to be rich. Zuna can late game carry. And I mean, with all the globals they've got, all of Vulcan are really scaling well in this game.
Now, the late game carry is really in, again, Sycho Sid and Mandatory Cloud's hand. They've really handled this entire game from beginning to end. And it's going to be the split pushing end for Vulcan. They've got, like I said, the Lichbane TF and a very fed Shen that can hold his own in any side lane. So they can continue to spread out Dignitas all the way until they get to that inhibitor turret line, in which case, then the base is going to get so small that Dignitas will actually be able to walk to the other side and join the team fights. That's where Dig are going to make their last stand. Until that point, Dig are just looking to farm up, try and clear waves as efficiently as possible, and stall out Vulcan for as long as they can to sort of catch up and gain some, some AoE items and the next threshold here.
So good luck to that for Dignitas. On the other hand, Vulcan, I want to see what they do to close this game out, because we heard Dyrus say that basically that they failed to snowball the game against Vulcan a couple of times, and they were silly mistakes. They gave Vulcan opportunities to come back. And I want to see if that same curse might happen here for Vulcan if they fail to snowball the game right here.
So they're going to go for the Crystal Arrow engage. They're
going to find Crumbzz. He is going down. 1 kill picked up. This is actually pretty much a 5v5 though, and Vulcan are fighting it. Dignitas has a lot of damage coming out from Scarra. KiWiKiD still alive, but getting zoned out a little bit. Kiwi's going to go down, but trades with mancloud. Now Scarra taking damage. Can he kill off Xmithie? No. Another kill picked up. 3 for 1. Requiem, no kills. Good safeguard from Xmithie.
Saves both of their lives right there. They get nothing for that Requiem. And so beautiful job by BloodWater. By the way, shot caller plus initiator, even on Zyra, landing the full combo there, enabling this entire team fight. And a beautiful Zhonya's from Mandatory Cloud made him miss the burst of that collateral damage from KiWiKiD, allowing him to survive just long enough to get off one more card. And because of that giant team fight win mid, it was perfect position for Vulcan to rotate over to the Baron.
And it's going to be them picking up that Baron.
They're waiting so that Mandatory Cloud can get it.
There it is.
Very rarely will we see teams have the confidence to stall out the Baron with that low health and wait for someone to revive. But because they got the decisive team fight right at the mid, they knew that there was no way Crumbzz was going to be able to get to Baron in time.
Especially because he's not running Flash. He would have had to run through the team. He would have had to run through Vulcan to show, hey guys, I can steal this. And they would have said, all right, we'll burst it down. They got it to like 1200. And then said, okay, as long as we can do the damage at the end. So nice move there by Vulcan, as you said, the confidence, the knowledge that it couldn't be stolen from anything super crazy, maybe collateral damage from KiWiKiD, but either way, well played by these guys. So now 20-8, 11,000 gold in the lead. Well, basically 10,000 gold in the lead. I want to see again. Do they go for another 5v5? Do they find another pick?
Crystal
they find
Arrow.
Crumbzz. There's the lantern, but it's not going to... Look at that, he kicks him away. What a nice move there by Xmithie. Puts the ward down, says, no lantern for you. Lights out. I'm KiWiKiD just picking up red buff, but more objectives going to Vulcan.
They just have so much pick potential because of the fact that they can spread out this Dignitas team, and then Twisted Fate popping his ultimate will reveal everyone, giving, again, the confidence Xmithie can go in and make that play because they know the rest of Dignitas can't follow.
Wonderful stuff here. Still a few seconds without Crumbzz. One of the key team fight holders there for Dignitas. Another turret goes down, making that 5. Sycho said the whole time has been in the top lane. That turret down to 1/3. Vulcan still finding things to close out, getting rid of more turrets, getting farther ahead. And Dignitas, at this point, I feel like they need a miracle.
It's really been these strong solo lanes pulling Dignitas apart, and then the picks from this bottom lane, both Ashe and Zyra, actually. You know, even BloodWater on normally what we consider a counter-initiate of Zyra, able to get off a very sneaky combo that really even got them the Baron that they're wearing right now. Couple of good picks here from Zuna with the arrows as well, and there's just way too many tools here for Vulcan to use.
Yeah, it's really impressive how those two have worked together. The grasping route starting it out, and then saying, Zuna, I hit him. Go shoot all your buttons. Press R. Go aim their direction. And you saw the arrow land. You saw then the Stranglethorns knock up, hit both targets that were hit. And the whole team was able to fire from over the wall. Ashe and Zyra, both 575, 600 range, just contributing to that fight, staying safe. Zuna picking up the Negatron Cloak helped him survive the Requiem as well. We actually saw from the Challenger match how afraid Complexity had to be of that huge Karthus, of how much he could have wreaked havoc on the AD carries. And Zuna saying, yeah, I know you're fearsome. I'm going to get some MR. Help me survive in this one. This helped him a little bit.
Zuna doesn't have to worry too much about attack damage. This is a very magic damage heavy team from Dignitas. And Graves, he's using a shotgun. It's AoE, but it's very short range there. The first target that collateral damage does hit is going to cause it to spray out. And as long as Zuna's positioning himself well in the back, doesn't have to worry too much about that Graves AD.
Yeah, so very good stuff here. Zuna staying alive, only 4-1-9, despite fighting a Requiem, despite being ganked a couple of times. Only the 1 death for him. It's actually mancloud who seemed to have been focused the most with 5 deaths here, the most in his team. But you know what? As long as it works out for them, they're going to do okay. Vulcan now, all 6 outer turrets are down, and the Baron buff only has 30 seconds left. So without Baron, will Vulcan find another team fight? Will they look for the 5v5? Do they keep playing the pick game? Because now Dignitas are stuck in their base.
No, they keep on making use of the composition that they have. They're splitting all 3 lanes here. Like I said, not only do they have a beefy Shen, but the Lich Bane on Mandatory Cloud means that if you leave him alone for a second, 1 auto attack on a turret will be huge. He is vulnerable to getting picked, though.
Yeah, Shen shield might not be enough. He's going to go down. There's the pick from Dignitas. Well played there. And there's the start of the comeback, potentially. The jump in from Crumbzz. Do they have the fight? There's a stun on a KiWiKiD. He's knocked up into the air, but still the chase. Patoy plays back Zuna. This could be what they needed. Barrier is used. Scarra in front, flashes into the enemy team. 2 kills picked up so far. The chase onto Xmithie. He's going to kick back, but there is the Requiem. Will that be enough? Another kill coming across. Sycho Sid forced to run away. Only 500 health left. Crumbzz on the chase. The Shadow Dash up in 1 second. Sid, can he get farther back? Farther back. 400 health now. Going away. There's BloodWater, only those 2 alive. Patoy gonna look for something. Can someone click the lantern? The Q does not go in, but 3 kills for nothing for Dignitas. That is big.
BloodWater does come by to save him on this one. Now, it was just a Scarra wall catching out Mandatory Cloud right here. This was really Dignitas waiting, like I said at the beginning, till they get to the inhibitor turret line and having the base be so small. Then they take their pick. Once they get the first pick, they know they have to capitalize on that first pick because they desperately need to get back into this game right now. Scar, a beautiful flash to get him into position to cut off 2 more members of Vulcan and secure 2. Well, actually, Sycho Sid, as we know, is going to get away from that one from the long run, but he got 1 more kill with it.
That was good stuff here for Team Dignitas, trying to claw their way back in. It's been difficult for them, but if anyone can make a comeback, it's going to be one of the longest standing teams in League of Legends history. They're looking for it now. Again, the 3rd place match. This best of 3 means going to Worlds or just simply being in Season 4, watching from the sidelines. I guess they live in LA, so they can at least still be in the same city as it, but I think you'd rather be playing in that tournament here.
Much rather be playing in it. The sad thing after that team fight, by the way, was that there was nothing left on the map for Dignitas to take. So after they got those kills they worked so hard for, they couldn't grab any extra objectives because Vulcan do a really good job of keeping the map clean, taking up the buffs from Dignitas' side, as well as the Dragon and the Baron so far.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that all 3 lanes were pushing down. Despite the death timers, they couldn't get the minions far enough across the map to take a turret out, so just a +2 kill. That was the only thing that happened in that Dignitas comeback was, okay, well, we got, aside from shutdown bonuses, what, 900 gold on you for +2 kills with assists, so that's only the small little claw back coming in here for Dig. And you're seeing the tri-lane push come back here. Vulcan still up 13,000 gold. Sid on the bottom, that Sunfire Cape helping Shen push back out. Seeing Mandatory Cloud hold the mid lane. The tri-lane push is back here for Vulcan. And they're saying, okay, well, mancloud, don't die this time, and then maybe we'll do better.
He still doesn't have his flash, so he's not going to put himself into a vulnerable position. Xmithie, or Sycho Sid on the other hand, he feels so confident in the amount of defense that he's been able to acquire that he doesn't have to have any extra wards there. He hasn't bought any extra wards for himself. It's just that 1 over by the mid lane. And he can keep up the extra pressure here on the bottom lane for Vulcan. If Dignitas stay too long in this red side jungle, playing around with Vulcan during the Baron dance, then Shen will slowly push that lane in, and they will just lose out their inhibitor turret as easy as that. That's exactly what Vulcan would like.
It's a very well-played situation here. There we go. Shen up to the inhibitor turret, and the team starts Baron at the same time. Either someone stops Shen or someone stops Baron, but Dignitas might not be able to do both. Baron losing some health right there. mancloud still in the mid lane, actually. Vulcan doing this very slowly with just the 3 here, but Xmithie is a tanky man. There is Graves and Evelyn sent to dispatch Shen to get him out of the base. But Baron now down a half HP, and Dignitas are none the wiser. They do not have wards down here. They're
Mandatory
not
Cloud pops his ulti just to make sure that there's no steal going to happen. And they're getting so confident in these objectives that he teleports down to Dragon to grab both at the same time. They're keeping this map completely clean. There's nothing for Dignitas to go for.
Absolutely locked down the map right now. Good pickup by these guys, 22 to 11 in kills, but now farther and farther ahead, 15,000. 2 of 2 Barons, and I'd be surprised if they lost more than 1 Dragon at all this game. Yep, there we go, 4 of 4 indeed. So Vulcan, again, in control, 6-2 in turrets, everything looking to be good for them. Sit back on the split push, but now with the Baron buff, Is that now enough for Vulcan to push in? Because the wave clear, to be honest, has been good enough from Dignitas to not let Vulcan into their base.
Dignitas are desperately hoping that they can catch another target like they did last time. Just setting up their defenses in this very small corridor where they have the 3 entrances to their base. Mandatory Cloud is the prime target, but he does have flash this time. So after the Zanyas, he'll be able to hop back over a wall if he does get picked off. And they might not even want to go with a full 3-lane push. They could actually, now that they're so strong, even start off a dive with Shen being the point man and tanking the turret.
It's definitely an option here. I want to see if they go for it. A lot of items, as you said, are completed for this Vulcan squad. Let's see where they go. Sunfire Cape, burning away the minions. 7-0 and 6 Sid still has not died despite 11 deaths on his team. mancloud still holding half of them.
They're going for the 3-lane push here.
Yep.
mancloud wants that cash.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got half an item left to complete. He's got a Banshee's Veil, and that's pretty much it at this point. So that's the kind of the funny thing is they're starting to cap out on items. So BloodWater at least gets some gold. He's got 57 minions.
They're going for the pick. Dignitas desperately need to pick someone off.
KiWiKiD getting queued by Xmithie. He's going to go for some more damage there. Kiwi gets a lantern. Goes back over the wall. So no re-engage yet for this Vulcan squad.
Someone squishy.
Yeah?
Let's clarify that. They don't want to pick off Xmithie.
No. It's a little bit hard to kill. So there we go. Another wave going down. mancloud up to the inhibitor turret. Yet again, I feel like I said this before, but mancloud is pushing the lane.
Now that he's able to push the lane all the way to the inhibitor turrets, them being so close means that TF can actually get to any 3 of these entrances with his ultimate now. And so it is pretty much a full global as far as they're concerned around the base.
It's a small glow, but
there
they're going to jump in. mancloud going down very quickly. Mikhail's Crucible used to keep him alive, and Zuna finds the kill onto KiWiKiD, who is not able to zone you. Crumbzz gets stunned. Taunt in from Sid. Crumbzz goes down. That's 2 for nothing. This could be the game-winning push here for Vulcan, but they're going to wait out for the next wave.
Great follow-up arrow there from Zuna to be able to cap another kill after the first pick. That means they have a huge man advantage, even though Mandatory Cloud was forced out.
And here we go. If they can keep moving forward, mancloud is going to go and push the mid lane. They're not even done pushing. Smara going to get this taunt. He gets kicked back. BloodWater takes that kill. He gets out successfully. Here's the Requiem. Shield's going to come out. That does get a kill onto Sycho Sid, his first of the game. But now
Great move there from Scarra, desperately trying to defend the base. They at least get one down. They had to make something happen there. It's not enough, though, because the Baroned up Vulcan are regenning just fine, and Mandatory Cloud's got Lichbane.
Inhibitor number 1 goes down. Inhibitor number 2 at half HP. Zuna's plinking it down with his arrows right here. KiWiKiD and Patoy looking to defend the jump in from Xmithie. Cleanse goes out from KiWiKiD. The flash back, and still lands the gold card. mancloud picking that one up. 26-12, 2 inhibitors dead. Crumbzz does not find his way into a fight, but Vulcan definitely got what they wanted out of that fight.
2 inhibitors? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Crumbzz, by the way, really having a rough time on this Evelynn. He was not able to have the giant early game impact. He hasn't really been able to find himself around the sides of the team fights to start off with his ultimate, with the max HP percentage damage. Been struggling on this Evelynn. I don't think that they will go back to it another game.
Unless they can turn something else around right here. Mandatory Cloud just going to grab the blue buff. I want to think what kind of adaptations are made, because so much of what Vulcan did worked incredibly well. The Lee Sin ganks were incredible. Maybe Grum steals that away. The Twisted Fate and Shen were awesome, and maybe those get banned out or picked up. But you got to consider, what are the other bans that came out from Dignitas that were targeted away from Vulcan? What you're going to remove? The Zac was dropped away. That was an important one for Sycho Sid. The Ahri taken away from Mandatory Cloud. Like, these are champions that teams love running, that Vulcan love running. You can't remove everything that Vulcan does here. They've got to come up with their own game plan as well.
So even Cloud9 says they have trouble in Champion Select versus Vulcan. When Cloud9 says they're having trouble in Champion Select, you know your team is doing something right. Vulcan plays so many champions. I think that even given that, they've themselves stated that they love this Shen TF combo, so that's probably where I would go if I was going to target anything to switch up from this. At least take away one of those.
It might just be the option they go for, and of course the sides will switch as well. And we've seen that Dignitas have been pretty happy to first pick Zac if they want to free up one of their bans as well. Ash Arrow comes across, it's going to land on Imaqtpie, who does not have cleanse this time.
Gets the box
Damage comes off. That turret goes down though, box hits nobody. So that is a wasted ultimate, and now this inhibitor going to fall as well. All 3 inhibs now go down. Vulcan going to look for the game-winning push if they can find it. mancloud taking some damage. There's an issue coming on in. It's a taunt onto Scarra. Striker Thorns hits on the 2. KiWiKiD's going to fall again without Zonia's. Spandary Cloud pushing forward. Do they find one more? Patoy's going to fall. Double kill now for, oh my gosh, everyone just falling over. Vulcan going to close out game 1. One more, and they're going to the World Championship.
Hitting on the Nexus, though. They haven't finished it yet. There we go.
Yeah,
now
just in case. They might have surrendered. It was a risk.
They're happy, but they're not overly excited because they know they still have another game. And Dignitas are a team that's very much used to best of 3s. They will be making adjustments, and it's going to be a different face from Dignitas in game 2.
Think about what happened when they fought Curse in their very first matchup here. Game 1 looked more convincing than this one. Dignitas said, we're going to make some adaptations, drop the Cassidy out, we're going to take care of business, and they closed it out 2-1. This could absolutely happen again here for these guys. Dignitas are no stranger to the O3s or the World Championships. They went last year.
They definitely love to make a repeat trip. Vulcan, on the other hand, are making a really good case for themselves.
Yeah, and how improved they were. They came in off the spring promotion tournament and had a really rough start to the spring split. They were one of those bottom 2 teams for a very long time and made a miraculous playoff run. Only lost to TSM, took 3rd place, and we're like, okay, was that fluke? Because, I mean, playoff runs, like sometimes those happen, like, okay, well maybe. Summer split came out strong the whole way through. 2nd place regular season. Lost a convincing BO3 to TSM, but after looking back to Vulcan form, they look pretty good.
They definitely had some hiccups yesterday, but they look definitely on point today, and they look like they want to finish it.
The hiccups got scared out, so that's going to do it for us for Game 1. But let's send it over to Jat and Riv for a breakdown of the biggest plays in Vulcan's Game 1 win.
Thank you very much, Freak. And what a game that Vulcan was able to show there. And they definitely pointed out that you have to play the exact opposite of Dignitas' style to take it to him.
Well, here's the big thing, is Dignitas usually tries to win by scattering around the map, finding a bunch of small fights, 2v1s, 2v2s, and winning. And Vulcan just kind of did it to them and left Dignitas very little option. It was kind of strange, too, because Dignitas went away from their own style a little bit with that Eve and Karthus picks, because those are people that generally want to force larger team fights. And that wasn't what ended up happening for them, because the Twisted Fate, Lee Sin, and Shen, just working in combination, pulled off so many clean kills for Vulcan that just really eliminated Dignitas' legitimate chances of winning.
And even with that, starting it with the Ash Arrow sometimes, Kobe said that Vulcan said, if you have that global composition of Shen and TF, you should not lose. And they showed us, and we'll see in our first clip of what the TF did in the first portion of that composition as we roll this clip.
Yeah, exactly. So the big thing about this one is Crumbzz was trying to make his presence felt early, but Xmithie was just more on top of things. And this clip ends up giving Xmithie a bunch of kills. Let's just roll this at full speed because many of these were just slow progressions for Vulcan and then they'd pull off a quick move. So Xmithie was an assassin with those Qs pretty much the whole game. They were able to get Crumbzz right at the start, and then you'd think Imaqtpie and Patoy are going to get away, but they have the ability to collapse in. Look at how mancloud can come in with scarra not even close. He tries to come in and save with a Requiem, but this whole game, mancloud was just one step ahead of Scarra's Requiem, and even though they never came in, they always came in, they never came in right, and they never were able to turn the tide for Dignitas. Those kills that Lee Sin picked up in that early engagement, Xmithie just used to keep roaming around the map and just add another roaming threat for Vulcan, and as they just built up that giant gold lead throughout the whole game.
And as we see, you know, the answer to globals, usually you have to mark on that global, not let the global come to you. You go to it, you take it down. What can Dignitas do besides the pick and ban phase to get to that? Do we put Scarra back on an assassin? What can they do?
Yeah, so I think first off, I don't think Vulcan's going to do the same trick twice. I think they're actually versatile enough that they're going to be able to pull off multiple strategies. And as well, I don't think Dignitas is going to want to give it to them either. If Dignitas wants to kind of get back to their stuff, I think they should prioritize Lee Sin. They've had so much success with that, as well as getting KiWiKiD back on something like Zac or Shen, because they lost almost two of their really strong picks there. Dignitas loves the Shen and the jungle Lee Sin, and both were just stolen away by Vulcan. I mean, credit to Vulcan because they are fantastic in the champion select phase, and that's what Kobe was talking about. They're probably the best in North America at just denying the other team their strategies and showing their versatility to use it against them.
And really picking the Lee Sin away from Crumbzz for Xmithie, this wouldn't have happened at the beginning of the summer split. Xmithie has come a very long way, and many people have said that, so they have to be sure they get the right picks and bans coming into this next game.
Yeah, Xmithie has done so much for Vulcan. And you could tell that Vulcan wasn't necessarily that pleased with their victory over Dignitas here, because if we remember, they came into this looking for the #1 seed. This is a consolation prize for them, still going towards. They still really need it and want it, but they were expecting much more. So Dignitas has a whole nother hill to climb.
Let's see what they can do. There is going to be another game in this series. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, it's time for Game 2. In this third place bout between Dignitas and Vulcan, plus TSM's Dan